Calling your clients a little bit, that's something you definitely do not want to do. You want to What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Kevin Jacob here for Build Vision. First of all, welcome if you guys are new. This channel basically is going to encompass just me taking my background as a digital marketer and just making it so that you can really leverage your passion for profit. And in doing so, if you're a creative, whether it be photography, digital art, just so many different options of creativity and actually like creative expression. I just want to be able to give you guys my tools, my tool belt from digital marketing, make it so that you guys can really just be encouraged to create and not feel the burdens of financial, hardships or the stresses that come with it. So I'm just here to do that. I'm here to revolutionize a whole lot of things and really add value to your guys' life. So make sure you subscribe. But today's video topic, I'm going to teach you exactly how you can sell your photo services. And now when I do take these approaches, it's going to be based on psychology. I'm also a certified life coach, so I'm going to kind of use some of those implementations, making sure that you guys are just going to be genuine though, not use these for the wrong purposes, but really just, diving into it and kind of how we actually see things based on consumer behavior. And so just jumping right into it, as you guys can see, successfully selling photo services. Now, services are much different than, digital products, obviously, or even just the photos in general. It is a little bit, more tedious, a little bit. You have to play on words a little more, I should say, connect with your actual client because it is in person and actual service. But that doesn't mean that it's not doable. That doesn't mean that it's not easy to do. And I'm going to show you guys that. Make sure you stick around to the end of this video also because I'm giving you a sales cycle action plan, 5 steps that you guys need to do to make sure that you're actually selling properly. So let's just jump right into it. We'll get into this first slide here. Just make myself a little smaller there and we can jump into it. So first of all, like I said, let's just understand what our clients' purchase behavior entails and what, the traits and habits of people actually purchasing photo services in particular are actually going to go through in their minds to make sure that they want you as a photographer and they want this service. And the biggest thing right off the bat that I tell all our students and photographers is really just to make sure you differentiate between your why and your what. And now your what, we will talk about it later. Basically, that's your product, that's your service that you're offering to these actual people, making it so that you can actually give them something tangible at the end, or if it's that session, whatever service it is during that duration of time, then that's your what. But making sure that you understand the why. And now I also listed as features and benefits. So if you're actually buying something, a lot of people, and I would almost say 100% of people, don't buy things necessarily for the features alone. And now the features are things like you're going to give them, certain prints. You're going to do a 2-hour session with them. You're going to do a, printed canvas at the end. And those are the features that they're getting with your actual service. However, that's not the benefits that you're kind of expressing and giving to them to make them want to purchase. And the biggest thing with clients is making sure that they know what benefits they're getting. And that is right here, this why and these benefits. So getting into it a little differently, give you guys a little take. The why would be something along the lines of, let's say for instance, you're selling wedding photography services. Now, you're going to go to the actual client and instead of saying, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do all these prints for you, I'm going to make sure I have a second photographer on site, I'm going to be doing this. What you're going to do is initially you're going to go introduce yourself, obviously, and we will talk about that later, but you're going to establish that why and get a feeling created inside your client, making sure that they are aware of, the benefits. And the benefits would be something along the lines of, you're going to have this day. It's going to be a beautiful day. You're going to look amazing. Let's say you're talking to the bride, for instance, I should say. You're going to look amazing in this dress. You're going to make sure that everything's perfect. All the flowers are beautiful. All your guests are happy and, full fed, whatever it might be. You have a beautiful cake. And then you look back 10 years and realize, wow, these photos are really not that great for, capturing that moment. Do you want that to be you, or do you want to actually be able to sit there and look through albums, look through books, and that's kind of tying in the features, how I was saying earlier, but tying in the features into the benefits, and then looking back at those books, being able to cherish those memories forever, feel that excitement, the same excitement and nervousness that you felt walking down the aisle, remembering these certain memories. That's the why, and that is definitely going to sell much better than we can do 2 5x7 prints and 1 2-hour session. Yeah, so that's the biggest thing that I want you guys to realize and take away from this video is to distinguish what it is that is your why when you're selling your photo services. I'm telling you, you will see crazy results just from that alone. Now, number 2 on this list, appeal to 2 main outcomes. The 2 main outcomes are going to tie into that why, but just playing on psychologically how the clients actually do it. It's either towards pleasure or away from pain. And I'm sure you guys may have heard that in marketing, but really, this is the truth behind the matter. In what I was just doing, I did both. In that case study I just thought of right off the top of my head, for that bride, I was making it so she was falling away from discomfort or away from pain with other photography services or other people, and her actual inability to express, the feelings that she felt when she was actually at the wedding. And I was actually moving her towards those feelings of being able to kind of reassure her that, it's going to be pleasure, you're going towards pleasure, and it's going to be pleasure for, however long your life and these albums last. And so make sure you're appealing on one of those two, at least one, I should say, and if not both. And now develop audience members through 3 stages. There's 3 stages within a buying cycle, and that's audience awareness, audience consideration, and audience purchase. And in each phase, they're going to go through different kind of concepts and questions in their head. The awareness phase is kind of that moment when you stumble across certain people on social media, but you don't think anything of it, and then later, you realize that they put out one content piece that was like really resonated with you, and you're like, wow, I remember this person, but I never kind of connected the dots. And that's kind of that awareness phase, where it's like if you can capture them within that awareness phase, you're going to have that client. And then the consideration phase is just showing examples of other clients, other case studies or testimonials that we will also talk about later, giving you a little more background as to who you are and what service you perform and how well you actually do it. And then in that purchase phase, basically they're just going to kind of calculate, look at their options, and then at the end of the day decide if they want to purchase or not. And that's just kind of leading them through that 3-step process, making sure you're acquainted. And if you always start with the why, that's giving them a connection to that first phase, which is awareness. Now, moving into some of the placement items and where you can actually place these things so people can see them for free. IPS, if you guys don't know what that stands for, in-person selling. So obviously you can go to people, you can get lead capture, local lead generation. So if you're doing flyers or anything, partnering with flower shops if you're a wedding photographer, doing things to make it so your business card or your actual flyer, brochure, whatever it might be, is out there, your proposal. And now when you're doing that, obviously you just want to talk to them, connect to them. You can use some mirroring techniques, just try to see exactly what they're feeling and kind of play on that. If they're really passionate, then use some passion in that. If they're not, if they're kind of down and kind of just considering and really not feeling what you're having to say, then you go down to that level and bring them back up into excitement. And that's kind of going towards pleasure, away from pain once again. Now, online audience, you want to see if you can leverage your social media accounts. Even if you have no followers, just go out into places. Let me show you. I'll switch over on the screen real quick. So places like this, I live in Carlsbad, California, so you can literally type in on Facebook and go to Carlsbad, and there's a Carlsbad exchange. You join a group like that and you type in your service, you present some sort of great, incredible offer, and you're gonna have a bunch of eyeballs. Wherever you guys can also, good place on Instagram is looking at the actual location hashtags. Where the wedding will be held. If you're looking at wedding people, there's groups on Facebook for weddings. There's things like that. And what you want to do is basically just in that awareness phase, provide value to where you're directing their attention away from whatever group that is. And that's giving them a little bit of the why, a little piece, and really just, for instance, like I've done a lot in Facebook groups. If I'm trying to get people from one Facebook group into my Facebook group or something like that, what I'll do is I'll write out this kind of long planning of, say I was a wedding photographer, I would do something like top 5 things to look for in wedding photographers and do a list like that. And then at the end of that list, say something along the lines, if you guys want to learn more from me, get more value, I also have this in my group. Or, so what you're doing is basically just adding value. You're not pitching to them right away. You're getting them into your awareness phase so that you can give them the consideration phase and kind of get them to convert into that purchase phase. So next, moving into checking your assets. This is just going to be some questions that you guys should ask, making sure that your offer, your service, how you're presenting it is actually clearly laid out. So number one, obviously, is your offer clearly laid out? Is it simple enough to see? Can people see it on a screen or see it potentially on a page? Or you have it to where your copywriting is just clear and you can see a pristine package that they're ready to purchase, and just the details and kind of all those miscellaneous pieces. Next will be, is your offer simple and packaged to meet their needs? You want to make sure that offers are not too complex. You want to make sure you're not throwing just the kitchen sink and everything at the offer and kind of trying to word it with all these incredible huge words. You just want to make it short, simple, and make it so it meets their needs. Make it so that that person can continuously refer back to, read it, and just kind of memorize and be like, yeah, I want that offer. And otherwise, they're going to get too complex reading. Halfway through, they'll be like, I don't even know what is that? And then just completely disregard it, and you lost them in the consideration phase. So now, are you confident in your offer and services? Don't offer things that you're not confident. Play on your strengths and what you're actually good at. And this is going to give you just that extra confidence to make sure you can sell it, because getting out there and selling is going to be a lot of confidence and just really being prideful in your offer and being prideful in the service that you conduct. So make sure you're confident in your service, and if not, then kind of rearrange it and see where you can be. Now, are you willing to, or excuse me, are you properly warming with value or just cold selling? This goes back to what I was saying, is giving them value, getting them into that awareness and consideration phase instead of just saying, hey, I'm doing this. Do you want photography services kind of thing. Make it so that they're acquainted with you, give a personal connection, and then you're going to sell so much better. Would you purchase your service? That's a great question to ask. See if you're, if you're lowballing your clients a little bit, that's something you definitely do not want to do. You want to be as genuine as you can, give as much value as you can, because their testimonials, especially in local service photography, are key, and I will talk about that in the next slide, but really just make sure that you yourself would purchase that offer and it's something that you think is worth it. And that again ties back into that confidence as well. So finally, the sales cycle. And this is based off some of Grant Cardone's and also a couple others, but I'm also going to talk about the psychology between each. So number one, greet. You want to greet your actual customers. Of course, introduce yourself, tell them welcome, give them a little rundown of what your service is and what it is that your why is kind of, encompassing. And number two, determine wants and needs. You want to make sure that you're solving a particular problem for your clients, giving them a detailed solution. And solutions don't necessarily have to be something that's completely made up. And by this, I mean, you can continuously go from other competition or other photographers and kind of take their ideas, take some of their their problem solutions or packages and just market it as your own. And the difference between a lot of those is, you can do it for a cheaper price. You can do it for even a premium price if you're very good at photography. There's just so many options that you can tweak and make it personal, but just, make sure that you're getting something that you're confident about, something that's clear and kind of concise and solving their problem. Now, number three, determine the best fit for that client. If you have multiple packages, this definitely applies to you. What you want to do is kind of take into consideration and listen to your clients. This is another huge important thing. In the sales cycle, you do not want to talk a lot. You want to listen. If you listen more in sales, as counterproductive and counterintuitive as that sounds, you're actually going to sell more because you're going to base your actual responses on what your client truly needs. So determine what is your best fit package for that client. And then number four, make a proposal, make an offer that they can't refuse. Get some numbers in there so that they realize, this is something that's going to be set in stone, something that's getting them into that purchase phase a little quicker, but also not overstretching your boundaries. And number five is just closing, giving it something to where, let's do this now, making it so that they can't necessarily go back on their thoughts. Just make it set in stone, give them that feeling, solidify that feeling, put a stamp on it, and close the sale. Now, additional information that I want to share with you guys is just bringing up some scarcity. So you can do something like, I am accepting 10 new wedding clients this month, something like that. That's going to actually get you to have your clients think, oh, wow, I need to get in here before, his spots fills up, or her spots fill up, I should say. And, also a guarantee is another psychological play. And it's just really showcasing that you're confident in your work. Once again, confident in your offer, making it so they really have nothing to lose if they purchase. And that's just a money back guarantee, I should say. Testimonials, a huge thing. If you guys don't have any clients and you're kind of nervous about the service and the whole process, I would suggest doing 1 to 5 for free. And really just getting testimonials, doing it in exchange for, a review or something that's going to give you kind of credibility and just accreditation, really, just so you can get comfortable with the process and other people can see that. And that's one huge tip for me as well, because when your client's actually going through those phases, they do click on and off if you have testimonials, and that's just a huge factor for them. So that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. I'm sweating, I'm passionate, I'm happy, but no, really. I appreciate you guys watching so much. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment. I'll get back to you in the comments as fast as I possibly can. And just, I want to help you wherever I can. Really, so make sure you subscribe for more. I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.